If you ever tried to read the Bible but felt distracted, overwhelmed, or just didn't know where to start, trust me, I've been there. And the good news is there are so many ways to study the Bible that can make it so effective for you to understand. And I wish I'd known them sooner. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear system to deepen your understanding, return the scriptures that you have learned, and also apply them into your personal life. And the best part is, it's easier than you think. One funny thing I used to do as a new Bible study reader, I used to close my eyes, flip the Bible pages, and whatever verse I lean on, I just read the entire chapter. I'm sure some of you guys can relate because I've watched my mother does the same thing, but trust me, this is not sustainable. If your goal is to memorize or even read about different section of the Bible or learn about different topics, you have to have a good structure that is very sustainable. As new Bible reader, we tend to lean towards the most famous verses just because they are so easy to remember and we have been hearing about them for a long time and they just kind of stick to our mind. But this can lead to us taking the verse out of context, especially if we don't read the verse before and the verse after. The first reason why reading the Bible randomly is not effective, it's because we can get disconnected. As beginner, we are so hungry to hear from God. We want a prophetic word. We want to hear from Him in many different ways. And if we are reading those verses, I just open up the Bible page and read whatever we lean on and not having a real connection and taking the time to understand what we read, we just give up because if it's not relating to our current situations, at least that's what I was thinking. If I am currently going through some stuff right now and I'm reading the Bible, I am expecting this verse to relate to my personal life so I can get help. But doing it this way will not help you how you want the help to be. The second reason why randomly reading the Bible isn't effective is we can get confused. Imagine you are in school or in college, whatever school you are, and the professor just give you random notes and tell you to just open up the book and start reading and not giving you a plan where you start from the basic. Tell me what's gonna happen. Have you ever experienced that in school? Comment down below if you have had a teacher who was so unorganized that he gets you confused. So back to the video. If you are studying and you're not starting with a plan and starting from the basic, you will get confused. And God wants us to have a structured life. That's why it says in 1 Corinthians 14 verse 40 that God wants us to have a life that is well structured. And once we start with this type of structured life, inviting God into it, our life will be better. So this is the main reason why it is important to have a plan and stick to that plan, and so things can be easier and you can apply those things that you have learned into your life and see changes. The third reason why reading the Bible randomly is not effective is because we can get overwhelmed. Imagine you are taking in so many information, so each day that you wake up, you open the Bible to a different page and you start reading. Sometimes you try to memorize those verses, but if you don't have a structured plan to organize what you have learned, or even use a notebook to write down those verses that stands out to you, you will feel overwhelmed and eventually you'll burn out and just give up with everything. Now that I've talked about how ineffective it is to read the Bible randomly, let's talk about the best way to read the Bible effectively, especially for beginners. So we have 3 different ways. The first method that is effective when it comes to Bible reading as a beginner is the verse by verse method. Take one book out of the Bible. I start with the book of John. Once you take one book and you read one chapter daily, that'll let you be organized. But in the beginning, it's good to build that momentum If you want to get connected with the Lord and learn more about how you like to read, you can start with Psalm. So each day you read one or two chapter of book of Psalm, and after 30 days, then you can start with the book of John daily, so you can start building those verses that you have learned and write them down. And as always, before you get started, first you gotta pray. Pray and ask God to give you the knowledge and open your heart and your mind so you can understand what you are reading. I remember when I was younger, I used to just do the method of open the Bible randomly. I would just start reading and not understanding any of those things. So it's good to pray and ask God to give you wisdom and also open your heart, open your mind so you can see and also open yourself to apply those things into your life. And after you have done praying, the second thing to do is start reading the chapter. I advise you to start with one chapter at a time, even if it takes you only 15 minutes because you will read fast. Just take one chapter at a time so you can really digest the word. It's not a food, but digest the word. And also take notes. Take notes of the verse that stands out to you. In my case, I use the journaling app, so I write down the verse that stand out to me on my iPhone and on the journaling app, and I actually speak. Instead of writing, I speak, and it's like I'm explaining to a friend. It's not funny, but I like this method. So it's like I take, let's say if I read one chapter and two or three of those verses stands out to me, I will take a picture of those verses, put it on the journaling app, and also talk about it. It's like I'll just talk for like 10, 20, 30 minutes. I feel like with this method, it's like I'm explaining this to someone, which give me more wisdom, and I feel like I remember those things better by me speaking about it. If this is not your cup of tea, feel free to write them down. You can have a notebook or you can use your Apple Note on your phone, your iPad, and those verses that you have learned, you write it down. But in my case, I speak. So I use the journaling app, or you can use your Apple Note as well to record your voice if you want to go this route. If you think that this is the only habit that you need to read the Bible, wait until the next one. The second most effective way of studying the Bible effectively is studying by theme. This is great because let's say if you are the type of person who gets frustrated quickly, like in the first method, you take your time and read a chapter and you write down what stands out to you. If you don't like this method, you will love this one. First, you choose a topic. So let's say if you are the type of person who, once you start learning about one thing, you just kind of like stick to it until you learn all those necessary informations. This will be for you. You will love this one. So let's say you use one of those apps on your phone, your iPad. You can use the YouVersion app. You choose the topic love or pride, and you read all verses about this topic. Then it will be easier for you to categorize this specific topic. And this is one of the best ways to study, especially if you are struggling with this specific topic within your life. It will be a great one. It will be an eye-opener. The YouVersion Bible app is great for this method. You can use any category. You can choose love, you can choose success, you can choose pride, you can choose family, you can choose frustrations, any topic, anything that's bothering you in your life and you want clarifications. The YouVersion Bible app is really good. And another reason why I love the YouVersion Bible app is because they have plans. So they have different study plans. So let's say if you are the type of person who likes to watch movie series, this is kind of the same way, but reading the God's word. So you'll have a plan for like 5 days, 7 days, and even 10, 20 days. And this one gets you excited. So imagine each day you wake up, you have this plan, and the next day, and you get excited what's coming up next, after a couple of days. I love this one. And sometimes when you read those Bible plans, you get to learn about other people's experiences. So those people who write those plans, they usually talk about their experience and how they overcome their failures or any aspect of what you are currently learning about. To summarize about the second method, a good structure that works for a beginner is first, choose a topic. Second, choose an app or use Google. So let's say if you're learning about love, you can use Google, or you can use the YouVersion Bible app, or they have different other Bibles. So whatever you like, use that, but I usually use the YouVersion Bible app. Third, write down those verses that stands out to you. And fourth, meditate on those verses, and also any of those recommendations that you have learned from those Bible plan, any advice from those speakers, because usually those people who write those plans, they usually speak from experiences. So you can write down what you have learned from them and also how you plan on improving your life based on their experiences. This method is great if you are experiencing different challenges in your life, so you can choose this topic, read about it, learn about it, and apply what you have learned into your life. Like Myron Golden says, the Bible is God's automation. So if you're looking to learn about prayer, you want to learn about fasting, you want to learn about love, how to be loved and be loved, you want to learn about pride, you have it all in the Bible. You get access to it whenever, however you want to. So he already have it laid out for you. It's a matter of you taking the time and take action and apply them into your life and watch your life change. And now, before I get into the next tip, which you should add to your prayer life, which might end up being your favorite one, please hit that subscribe button below if you are looking to connect further with God. And let's get into the best one. Character Bible study is the most effective way of reading the Bible. Here's why. You get to learn from people's experiences and apply them into your life. Imagine that this person already went up the hill, go up the mountain, have all those challenges that he experienced, and he simply tell you about it and tell you how he overcome those challenges for his life to get better, and you'll learn from that. You can apply those things into your life. What a better way to learn. It's the same way, like when we were growing up, if our parents went through different difficulties, and when it comes to their finances, their professional life, if they actually sit down with you and tell you what they did wrong and how they improved, and you apply the same thing, it'll be so much easier. I mean, it's good to experience those challenges because it gets us stronger, but at the same time, we can get to the place where we want to be quickly, because we are not patient in this generation. So this is the best and powerful way of reading the Bible effectively. To get the most out of this method, first you pick a character. For example, you can pick David. And second, you follow their journey from start till the end. And third, you write down their qualities and what makes them good, and also how they improve their lives. And fourth, you reflect on what you have learned. And five, obviously, you find a way to apply what you have learned into your life. The reason why I love Character Bible Study is because it increases and gives good example of how God is so powerful, and also how He loves us despite our sin. If you like this video, you'll like this one where I talked about why your current life plans are not working out. Hope you watch it and enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.